A lone raven sends its searching call echoing through the Tassali Mountains. Perhaps a protective mate will reply. Alighting on a sand-laden bush, a morning white-ear waits expectantly for a meal. See? It's probably hungry. A phoenix, its sensitive ears alert, crept stealthily forward in search of rodents and insects. A frightened jerboa springs high into the air on powerful hind legs, changing direction in a flurry of sand to throw off pursuit. A small party of gazelles treks across an ocean of sand dunes in search of moisture-bearing vegetation. Occasionally, the gazelles dig for water-storing roots, but normally they feed on plants or bushes above ground, selecting those which retain moisture, such as acacia, in preference to others that remain dry. See the gazelles? Turtle camels carry salt from Bilma on a 350-mile trek to market in Aegis. This ancient trade was threatened in the early 1970s by drought. See? A Tuareg nomad peers through the silt in his veil, a cloth some 5 yards long, traditionally wound around the head. In a reversal of the usual Muslim practice, the Tuareg men, but not women, are veiled from puberty onwards. The practical purpose of the veil is to offer protection from the sun and blowing sand to the herdsmen during their long periods in the desert. But this has become ritualized so that even in camp, the veil is rarely removed. See? Always need your veil on. A Tuareg herdsman who has watered its stock of goats and camels at a well prepares to return them to the sparse desert pastures. There he is. And these are the goats and camels. A young camel which has collapsed and died of thirst decomposes in the desert. In its frantic efforts to find its feet, it scored a shallow grave in the form of a camel hoofprint. The carcass has already become food for other creatures, including a raven whose tracks can be seen entering the hollow bottom right. Ooh, poor camel. Sunset over mountains near the oasis of Salat. Kind of reminds me of the beginning of Lion King. Late evening cumulus over the Hagar. A full moon replaces the setting sun at Salat. And there's the moon. First light of dawn in the Tassili Mountains. Cumulus filling the early morning sky. Arrow against Cumulus and Cirrus. Cirrus heralding sunrise. Early morning in the foothills of the Hagar. large granite boulder, delicately posed as a result of centuries of erosion, marks the edge of the Tanezroft Reg, or gravel plain. That's a big rock. At close range, the apparently uniform surface of the rock displays an unexpected variety of color and texture. In addition to gravel deposited by ancient floods, there are armored surfaces made of rock fragments that have been laid bare as wind and rain eroded away loose soil, or have worked up from below ground as they expanded and contracted by day and night. On the surface, the fragments were split or darkened by weathering and smoothed by wind-blown sand. Silica-hardened sandstone. Sandstone with a dark, iron-rich coating. Ew. Slivers of fine siltstone. Lifeless and swept almost bare of sand, the pebbles surface of the Tanzenroft wreck stretches without interruption to the distant horizon. A study of gravel, rocks, sand, and sky in Algeria. See? A rock column sunk in the strip of sand.